What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of how to raid efficiently in Conan Exiles using the least amount of explosives. So we're going to jump right into it today with a base that I found up on a hill near the set city. Always remember to drop that bedroll before you get started raiding.
Make sure we got two, so in case we die we can click on the new one.
As always, the first thing we're going to do is go around the whole perimeter, inspecting the base for weaknesses. We'll climb around the base, we'll walk around, we'll try to peek through the doors. We can see that this base has a thick foundation wall on the outside. After we've looked around the base, I noticed that there's an inside foundation wall, and that's where two foundations are up against each other on the inside of the wall. And 9 times out of 10, people won't put an additional foundation blocking that space because they think the outside foundations are secure enough. Turns out this person has also put a foundation right there for us, so we can just drop our explosives right there and blow directly into his base. It may have been tempting to go through his front door.
Alright, so see, this guy has the sandstone floor trick here, so if you use an explosive on his door, you just lose your explosive area right here. So obviously we're not going to be going through the door.
But we noticed that this is probably the most direct route into his base. We're stuck sort of with a similar situation as before, where detonating the explosive would harm us greatly. So I do the same thing again and create a raid tower a little bit out from the base and place the explosives from there. Luckily, this guy has only built with tier 2 foundations, so after just a few explosives, we're in.
Oh, hello.
Again, like before, we don't immediately start hitting everything we see. We first search around the base and see if there's any easy loot, or maybe work from the top down in such a manner that we don't get caught on anything or inhibit our ability to further raid the base. Unfortunately, most of the stuff this guy has is junk, so I barely take any of the loot. Again, using the loot all function and dropping loot that I do not need. Let's take a moment to analyze this guy's base.
Pretty much got access to everything here.
So he's basically got all of his floors accessible from one wall because he didn't put an additional foundation wall. After we've destroyed basically all of his crafting stations, we'll finally go for that last chest. And that was mostly because I didn't want to get encumbered down while I was trying to do other things. And I also didn't want to drop loot that I had on me on the ground for fear of it despawning. Excellent, we've looted his entire base. But now that I get down safely, we notice he also has a smaller section on the bottom. Let's go check that out. After some poking around, we can sort of hear that we're directly above where some blacksmiths are. Again, you should never really leave your blacksmiths in the tables because they do make a lot of noise, and it makes it easier for a raider to locate your crafting tables. So we're going to blow in straight through the roof, right down to the crafting table. Next we destroy the crafting tables. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like this guy had used this room much, so I choose to not go for the vault at the end of the room.
Yeah, there's not much in this room.
It's probably a decoy and a waste of materials, based on the fact that he didn't really have any dragon's powder in his base, and he also didn't have anything in this room. It's more than likely that vault is just empty. Now that we've got our loots, let's get out of here and begin the long trek home.
Alright, now we get to try... Oh, we can get out right here.
Alright guys, thank you for watching. This base was a little simpler than some other bases, but even simple bases you can save materials and learn from. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button, hit me with a subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode.